Good afternoon, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Field, where we have held off the rain, and it is a lovely day for softball. Please welcome our guests from Liberty High School. They are the Chargers. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from Liberty. And we'll start with their reserves. Number 5, Mimi Rodriguez. Number 24, Mimi Figueroa. And number 11, Annika Hendricks. The starting lineup for the Chargers. Their leadoff hitter is catcher, number 5, Miley Rodriguez. Second in the lineup for Liberty is first baseman, number 13, Alexi Figueroa. Batting third, and on the pitcher's circle to start today's game, number 34, Yasmin Elaraj. The cleanup hitter for the Chargers is second baseman, number 19, Lizzie Geiger. In the 5-hole, shortstop, number 6, Cheyenne Bullard. Batting sixth for the Chargers, third baseman, number 20, Kaylin Mejia. Seventh in the lineup for the Chargers, and behind the plate at the bottom of each inning, left fielder number 2, Sam Larison. Batting eighth for the Chargers is center fielder, number 14, Sofia Ordonez. And finally for the Chargers, batting ninth is right fielder, number 28, Anel Candelaria. And the Chargers are managed by head coach Rich Roy Colomb and assistant coach Angelica Figueroa. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Their reserves include number 1, Nayla Studdard, number 2, Corinthia Small, number 8, Jocelyn Mateo, number 12, Milan Brown, number 18, Karina Ramos, and number 34, Taquisha Thomas. The starting lineup for the Mustangs, the leadoff hitter and behind the plate at the top of each inning, number 5, Emilia Delgado. Second in the lineup for the Mustangs is second baseman, number 3, Avery Show. Third in the lineup for the Mustangs, shortstop, number 15, Camila Delgado. Cleanup hitter for Wekiva is third baseman, number 32, Kyla Herrera. In the 5-hole and in the pitcher's circle to start today's game, number 13, Jenner Thompson. Batting sixth for the Mustangs is first baseman, number 35, Sanaya Asanya. Seventh in the lineup for the Mustangs, right fielder, number 23, Ariana Garcia. In the 8-hole, designated player, number 33, Janaya Winnet. And flexing for her at center field, number 21, Lily Jones. Finally for the Mustangs, batting ninth is left fielder, number 11, Paola Chavez. And the Mustangs are managed by head coach Naisha McCoy and head assistant coach Taylor McGowan. Before we kick off our Strike Out Stigma game for mental health, we want to take the time to honor the life of former Wekiva softball player Amanda Crafton from the class of 2019. Amanda passed away on October 3rd, 2020 at the age of 19, leaving behind an infant daughter. Today, that infant daughter is now a wonderful little almost 4-year-old who will be throwing out our first pitch at today's game. Taking the field with her will be Amanda's mother, Penny Crafton, and brother, James Crafton. Take it away, Alea. Thank you, Alea. Congratulations. A great first pitch. And now we'd like to invite the Wekiva High School Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program presenting this afternoon's colors. Tonight's detail is under the command of Cadet Major Diego Hernandez, carrying the U.S. flag. Carrying the Air Force flag is Cadet Technical Sergeant Michaela Kepler. Carrying the Florida State flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant Trinity Eckert. Carrying the POW MIA flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant James Ravenick. And the Rifle Guards are Cadet Staff Sergeant Dixie Kepler and Cadet Senior Airman Heather McLean. And now please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Singing the national anthem today for us will be Wekiva softball alumna from the class of 2023. Please welcome Julie Moody.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so suddenly streaming. And the rockets reckless, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Julie. And thank you to the members of our JROTC Color Guard for their participation in this afternoon's pregame festivities. Special thanks also once again to Alea and Penny for honoring us with our ceremonial first pitch. And now we are ready for some softball action. We want to let our fans here in the stadium Know that we are live streaming today's game, so if you have friends or family who are back on the Liberty side of town, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world, and they were not able to join us in person for today's game, they can tune in online. All you have to do is open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device. Search for Wekiva Sports. Again, the channel name is @Wekiva Sports. You can also catch us on the NFHS network. We simulcast all of our live streams there as well. And for those of you who are joining us online, we want to welcome you to Mustang Field. Thanks for tuning in and spending part of your Wednesday afternoon with us, and we hope that you will subscribe while you're here. My name is Mark Barngy, the voice of the Mustangs and Sports Information Director here at Wekiva High School. I'll be joined in just a moment by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, taking you through this afternoon softball game and a very special day here at Mustang Field. It is the Strike Out Stigma game, celebrating mental health awareness. Of course, if you're not familiar with our coaching staff, our assistant coach Taylor McGowan is also the school's social worker, and so this is a passion of hers. So you will notice that Wekiva is not wearing maroon or navy or gold or any other such school color today. They are wearing green, the color of mental health awareness. You will also notice that the lines on the field are painted green, not white, again in recognition of mental health awareness. Thompson records the strikeout to put one away for the Chargers. Next at the plate is first baseman number 13. That's Lexi Figueroa. Starting off with a foul away. Back-to-back strikeouts put on the board for Thompson. 2 away now for the Chargers. Next at the plate for Liberty, pitcher number 34, Yasmin Elaraj. First pitch away. She'll put that one in play. Headed towards center field, and it's caught. Fly catch made in center field for the Mustangs by Lily Jones. And that puts 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base. And that takes us to the middle of the first inning. No score as of yet here on Wednesday afternoon softball action. Back with more from Mustang Field in a moment. As we enter the bottom of the first inning, the leadoff hitter once again for the Mustangs. Catcher, number 5, Emilia Delgado. And she'll start by fouling one away. Second one is a low ball, and this one grazes the shoulders of the strike zone. I'm just going to call that one just high. Brings up a 2-1 count here at the plate. That one's down the middle for a called strike 2, and it brings up a 22 count. Again, for those of you just joining us, welcome to Mustang Field. I'm Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, taking you through today's game. That one's put into play, and that's going to be a hit. Delgado with a single grounder finds the empty space headed toward right field. She's safe at first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, second baseman, number 3, Avery Schoen. Schoen swings at the first one. That's headed toward fair territory. If anybody can get there, no. Second base can't get there in time. And so back-to-back hits for the Mustangs. That single finding the first base line, just out of reach of the infielders. And so that puts runners at 1 and 2 now. Next at the plate for Wekiva will be shortstop, number 15. That's Camila Delgado. First pitch is a called strike. Second pitch, also a called strike. That's 2 in a row that were right down the barrel. And Delgado looks at 3 in a row. Elaraj records the strikeout, looking 1 away now for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, third baseman, number 32, Kyla Herrera. Still runners at 1 and 2. First pitch of that at-bat away. It was a little low and inside, probably still a strike, and so Herrera swings at that one and fouls it away behind the plate, 0-1. Mustangs are just a hair on the right side of a 500 record. They are 5-4 so far. Liberty, meanwhile, 4-6. So both of these teams fairly near to 500. That one's going to be a ball as it goes well inside and hits the dirt before it ever gets to the batter's box. So obviously, Herrera wants nothing to do with that one. Fouled away to the visitor dugout. That'll bring up a 1-2 count. Still runners at 1 and 2, so Wekiva with a good opportunity to put some numbers on the board with just 1 out and a runner in scoring position. As I mentioned earlier, if you're just joining us, you are joining us for Mental Health Awareness Day here at Wekiva. We call it the Strike Out Stigma game. You may notice that Wekiva is uncharacteristically wearing green. That's not for St. Patrick's Day. That is the color of mental health awareness. And so even though that is not part of the school's color palette, we wear it today to proudly support that cause. You'll also notice that the infield lines are painted green instead of the traditional white. And of course, Liberty, well, their school colors are green and gold, so they're wearing green because they always wear green. That one is going up and down, and it is caught. And nobody's going to try to run and take advantage of that since it was on the infield. Fly catch on the infield is made by the first baseman. That's Lexi Figueroa. 2 away now for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, the pitcher, number 13, Jador Thompson. Want to welcome to the broadcast Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief. He was engaged in photography duty and some other initial setup duties as we got ready with our mental health awareness ceremony and whatnot. So welcome to the broadcast, Neil. Wednesday afternoon softball action. And Neil, this one was maybe in doubt a little bit earlier this afternoon. We had a line of strong showers and thunderstorms come through, but somehow they parted over Wekiva High School and passed on by. So we are able to get this one underway. It is certainly overcast, but no worse for the wear as we get a ball at the plate, and it is a wild pitch, giving the runners an opportunity to advance. That put runners at 2 and 3 now with 2 outs and a 2-1 count.
Yeah, Mark, and of course, as always, an excellent job of the pregame festivities. As Mark just said, runners on second and third. There are 2 outs, though, with Thompson at the plate, and that'll run the count to 2-2.
I got a rare reprieve from having to sing the national anthem. Julie Moody stopped by. She's an alumna of Wekiva softball and did a great job with the national anthem. That's put into play. Opportunity to score. We've got an error, and the Mustangs will take advantage. That should have been a probably 6-4 force out.
Delgado scoring.
Amelia Delgado comes home. Meanwhile, Thompson is safe at first, and that'll push Herrera to third. Next at the plate is first baseman number 35, Sanaya Asanya.
So 2 outs still as Sanaya Asanya steps up in a wild pitch. That will make it 2-0 as Schoen
Avery
scores.
Schoen is home on the wild pitch, and on the throwing error back out to the field, the Mustangs will pick up a third run as Thompson comes home. So again, Neil, per the rules of baseball, you can't get an error on a wild pitch. Wild pitch is a separate stat for errors. Doesn't matter how wild it is. It's never an error on a wild pitch. However, if a second run scores because of the throw back out to the pitcher, that absolutely can be scored as an error. So that will be the second error of the half inning charged to Liberty.
Yeah, no matter what, though, Wekiva with a 3-0 lead, as Mark mentioned, 5-4 record. And Mark, I know it's been at least a dozen years since Wekiva's been over 500 this deep into the season. Not that we're tremendously deep, but 9 games in. But I don't remember them ever being over 500. Certainly, again, if it was over 12 years ago. So certainly 5-4 in itself might not look all that spectacular, but when you compare it to what they're trying to accomplish, certainly a watermark first 9-game start. So now a 2-0 count on Asanya. If you're a basketball fan, you also know Asanya. She was a member of the Final Four basketball team just 3 weeks ago. Well, it'll be 3 weeks on Thursday. Their season came to an end, unfortunately, at the hands of St. Thomas Aquinas, who did go on to win the Class 6A state championship, but nonetheless, getting to the Final Four, and she's going to plop that one right between shortstop and left field. So a third hit in this first inning, and Wekiva continues to get those runners on base.
Asanya with a single into left field. She's safe at first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, right fielder, number 23, Ariana Garcia.
And so Garcia, 7th hitter in this inning to come to the plate as she looks at a ball. Garcia batting .211 on the season, 5 runs, an RBI, and a triple. And that'll make it a 2-0 count. As we are underway, first inning here at Mustang Field, right next to the 414 in southeast Apopka. Wekiva off to a strong start as that ball gets by Rodriguez, and that will put Asanya over at second base. So a 3-0 count now. Wekiva, even though there's 2 outs, they still have an opportunity to add to that 3-0 lead. Swing and a miss on that inside Heat. That'll run the count to 3-1.
Yeah, the pitch was high, but probably still a strike. Swing was low. That one is nearly in the dirt, and Garcia will take her base. That puts runners at 1 and 2 now for designated player number 33, Janiyah Whitted.
So Whitted steps up, the designated player, and she is batting .353, so certainly off to a strong start as she looks at ball 1.
No, that's a strike.
Strike 1. 5 runs for Whitted, 3 RBIs, and a pair of doubles. And she comes up, of course, again, first and second, and has to hop skip, get out of the way of that slow inside pitch.
Yeah, and as a reminder that it is incumbent upon the batter to at least make a good faith effort to avoid being hit by a pitch, which she did there.
2-1 count now. And that will be 3-1, rolling in the dirt. So Wekiva, again, already up 3-0. It's been a strong inning, exactly what you want. Any team, Delgado and Schoen getting singles to lead off this top of the bottom of the first. And now the bases will be loaded as Whitted draws the walk.
Whitted advances first, and that loads up the bases for left fielder number 11, Paola Chavez, and we'll pause for a conference.
So Whitted, that was her 4th walk of the season. And now Chavez, as Mark said, will come up to the plate. Chavez batting .444. 7 runs, 4 RBIs, and a double. So certainly got some strength at the bottom of the lineup. A couple of hitters hitting over .350. Have yet to see him swing the bat, of course, as we just mentioned, Whitted drawing the walk. And Chavez yet to face a pitch. Bottom of the first inning, 3-0 for Wekiva, the home team at Mustang Field. Thank you for joining us. I'm Neil Fisher. As Elaraj looks in. And that's strike one. With 2 outs. And that'll even the count at 1-1. Bases loaded, golden opportunity for Chavez to get some RBIs, but more importantly, the team concept can really take control of this game. Already up 3-0, that's inside and low. And that'll run the count to 1-1 against Elaraj. So Elaraj, the ace of the Liberty staff, and that'll be 3-1. Nowhere to put Chavez if she does draw the walk. Of course, she is the 9th batter, so Wekiva will bat through the entire lineup in the bottom of the first. And nowhere to put her. There's ball 4, and that'll run the count to the score to 4-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. So 3 consecutive walks, already 3 walks before this recent string of walks. And a 4-0 lead for Wekiva as Yamil Delgado steps in, and she looks at strike one. And that'll even the count at 1-1. Hits sharply into right field. That's going to be trouble for Liberty. Great news for Wekiva. 1 run in, 2 runs in, rounding third. A 3rd run come in. And are we going to get an inside the park home run? No, as Delgado is caught in the rundown. Back and forth between catcher and third baseman. And she's now out as she walked out of the baseline. But nonetheless, a solid hit and certainly excitement here at Mustang Field as Delgado drills that offering from Elaraj into right field and doubles the lead. Actually adds three runs to the score. Now 7-0 at the end of the first inning. Credit Delgado with a triple and 3 RBIs that ups the lead to 7-0 at the bottom of the first inning. Excuse me, the end of the first inning. Oh.
7 runs on 3 hits, 1 Liberty error. That's what you have scored?
Yes, 3 singles, 1 error, and 3 walks. Not that you need the walks, but. It was 1, 2, 3, right? Mark, 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first.
Oh, yes, they went 3 up and 3 out, yes. It was 2 strikeouts and a fly, I think. Yeah, it was 2 strikeouts and an F8.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 19, Geiger. Due up in this inning, Bullard, the shortstop, number 6, and Mejia, the third baseman, number 20. And that ball's going to find its way in just over the shortstop, Delgado. A leadoff hit for Geiger in her first at-bat. So Thompson, the starting pitcher, she comes in with a 3-3 record, 4.57 ERA. 30 and 2/3 innings pitch, a 14 walk to 24 strikeout ratio. Has given up 3 home runs as well, as Bullard swings and misses at the first offering. And so a 0-1 count on the shortstop as she squares around the bunt. Does not like that offering. Takes the count to 1-1. Geiger, who reached first base on that, seeing eye single, batting .333 coming into this game, and now this is, again, Bullard. She's batting .444 with 5 RBIs and a pair of doubles, and 2-1 count now. Slaps that ball into foul territory, and now even the count at 2-2. We are in the top of the second inning at Mustang Field, and the home team, Wekiva, is off to living up to their nickname, galloping off to a 7-0 lead, 7 runs in the first inning, and that'll take the count to 3-2. Chance for Liberty, though, to cut into that lead. The leadoff hitter, Bullard, reaching base on a sharply hit single, a seeing eye single just over the shortstop Delgado's head. And the swing and the miss fooled Bullard on that low inside pitch. Thompson records the strikeout. That's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Mejia, the third baseman, number 20. So Mejia will step up to the plate with 1 out. And she looks at ball 1, runner at first base. A 1 count now, a 1-0 count. As Thompson delivers, and the swing and the miss. Again, fooled the batter on that inside pitch, and that'll even the count at 1-1. So Mejia batting .429 with 4 runs and a couple of RBIs. Strong hitting team, Liberty, as again, this time up high. Quick throw down the first base. Ansaya unable to handle it. Probably would not have been able to get the runner anyway. So a 1-2 count now. And a chance for Thompson to go back-to-back strikeouts here in the top of the second inning. Liberty as a team batting .458. And that'll keep Mejia at the plate. Nice job of fouling that pitch off, staying alive. 7-0 lead for Wekiva. They come in with a 5-4 record. It's been a long time, folks, since we've had an over 500 record here for this softball team. Certainly feeling a lot lighter these days here at Mustang Field, as there's strike 3, the frozen strike, and that'll be the second out of the inning, and 2 in a row for Thompson. Thompson records back-to-back strikeouts, and that'll bring up the left fielder, number 2, Larison. So still a runner at first base. And now 2 outs, though, as Larison looks at ball 1. 1-0 count. Thompson now delivers. And that'll even the count at 1-1. Quick throw over to first again from the catcher Delgado. Again, Geiger getting back in time. Still though, Thompson and Delgado doing a nice job of keeping the runner at first base, as that's ball 2. High and inside. So I'm Neil Fisher. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. Again, from Mustang Field, Wekiva looking to go 6-4 on the overall record. That ball slapped down to third base. Hard hit by Herrera. Unable to scoop it up to begin with, but nice job of keeping her poised, staying with the play, and to get the force at second base. And that will bring the top of the second inning to an end. Wekiva still with the 7-0 lead here from Mustang Field. Herrera scoops up the ball, gets the force at second. Schoen with the out at second base. And that brings the top of the second to an end. Wekiva still with the 7-0 lead as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Due up in the bottom of the second inning for Wekiva. Second baseman Schoen, shortstop Delgado, and third baseman Herrera. Score is 7-0 in favor of Wekiva as we begin the bottom of the second inning. So we begin the bottom of the second inning here at Mustang Field. A 7-0 lead for Wekiva. The home team, certainly they've gone off to a strong start, doing exactly what any team would hope to do. A comfortable lead. Of course, the big hit in terms of highlight reel was Delgado slapping a triple into right field. She tried to go for the inside the park home run, but nonetheless, she was out at home plate. It was a bad decision, but nonetheless, a 3-run triple for Delgado. That took a 4-0 lead to 7-0. Total of 4 hits, along with 3 walks and an error in that first inning. And that brings us to the bottom of the second inning. Now batting, number 3, second baseman, Schoen. So Schoen steps in with that 7-0 lead to lead off the bottom of the second. She had one of those 4 hits I told you about and scored the second run. And bad start for Elaraj, the pitcher for Liberty, as she goes high and wide. 1-0 count now. So yes, that is Schoen, who's now looking at an 0-2 or 1-1 count. I know that it says Delgado on your screen, but it is actually Schoen at the plate. Schoen stepping back in. Of course, Schoen batting .500 on the season. Very impressive as she looks at a 2-1 count now inside. And that'll make the count 3-1. Bottom of the second inning, 7-0 lead for Wekiva. And yes, Wekiva are wearing green jerseys today in honor of Mental Health Day, as that will take the count to 3-1, 3-2. So a full count now. Elaraj gets her sign and delivers, and that'll be low and inside, skipped at the batter's box. And so a runner on first base, a leadoff walk by Schoen in the bottom of the second inning. And that'll bring up number 5, Delgado, number 15. Now batting, number 15, shortstop, Delgado. So strike one on Delgado. Your defensive lineup for Liberty: Rodriguez behind the plate, Figueroa at first, Geiger at second base, in the hole, shortstop Bullard. On the hot corner is Mejia, as the low Heat unable to catch up. Delgado. And now 1-1 count. And that'll make it a 2-1 count. Runner at first base, nobody out. Second batter in the bottom of the second, 7-0 lead for Wekiva. And that'll be a 3-1 count now, as Elaraj trying to pick that inside corner a lot during these first inning and one batter. Say about 50-50 success. And so a 3-2 count now. Excuse me. Oh, and actually that was strike 3. Okay, so a little confusion at the plate there. Delgado did not go back right away, but it is a strikeout, much needed strikeout for Elaraj. And that will bring up to the plate number 32, Herrera. Now batting with a runner at first base, one out, third baseman, number 32, Herrera. And she rips that ball foul. So an 0-2 count now. Wekiva sent 10 batters to the plate in their first inning, taking a 7-0 lead. And of course, they're looking to go 6-4 on the season. It's certainly been a very long time, at least a dozen years, since Wekiva can boast an over 500 record. 9 games into the season. So a 1-1 count. As Herrera steps in. And that'll be high and outside. Runs the count to 2-1. So Herrera comes into this game, only 3 other games she's played, 3 of 8. That's a 750 batting average with 3 RBIs and a double, as she looks at ball 3. So a 3-1 count now. Chance for Wekiva to get a second runner on base. Schoen led off the inning with a walk, and Elaraj delivers. And that's just a bit inside. Give Herrera credit, laying off the close pitch. And we will now have runners at first and second for Wekiva with only 1 out. Herrera draws the walk with 1 out. That puts runners on first and second. And now stepping into the plate, number 3, the pitcher, Thompson. Oh, So, excuse me, that was a 3-2 count. And the count will remain 3-2 to Herrera. Elaraj with the delivery, and that will be ball 4. And now Thompson does draw the walk. Excuse me, Herrera draws the walk, and that will bring up Thompson, the pitcher, number 3. They're 13. So Thompson steps in with runners at first and second, and she looks at ball 1. Runners at first and second. Elaraj delivers. And that evens the count at 1-1. Second inning, 7-0 lead for Wekiva. The home team, a wild pitch. That ball skips up and away. And now runners at second and third. And a 2-1 count to Thompson at the plate. So chance for Wekiva to add to that lead. They put 7 up in the first inning on 4 hits, an error, and 3 walks against Liberty. And that'll run the count to 3-1. Bottom of the second inning. Again, Wekiva in their green jerseys today, a special jersey because it is Mental Health Awareness Day. And Thompson takes a mighty chop, fouls that off, so that runs the count to 3-2. Full count now with 1 out. In the bottom of the second inning, and that ball slapped down about 6 inches foul. So Thompson getting a good pitch to hit. Pulled it. Everybody back to your assigned positions. In this case, that's runners at second and third base. So Thompson batting .308 on the season with 7 runs and 7 RBIs, and she draws the walk. A couple of steps taken down on third base by Schoen, but she will not advance. So that loads the bases. The walk drawn by Thompson, that loads the bases with 1 out, and that brings first baseman Ansanya, number 35, to the plate. So bases loaded with only 1 out. First pitch swinging, slaps that ball up the middle, 1 run in. Making the turn at third is Herrera, and she scores without a throw, and Wekiva now up 9-0. Asanya with the single, back up the middle, 2 runs scored, and the lead now 9-0. And hitter, number 34. So a 9-0 lead, 2 RBIs for Asanya.
Now at the plate is pinch hitter number 34, Taquisha Thomas. She puts the ball in play, goes to third, bobbled a little bit, and she beats the throw. RBI comes in, courtesy of Karina Ramos. Karina Ramos will be next to bat. Base is now loaded. So nobody came home on that play, right?
Oh, I thought they did score. Oh, no, I guess they did. So the bases are now loaded. And well, they were loaded as Elaraj uncorks a wild pitch. Actually, that was a pass ball. And now it is a 10-0 lead as Asanya Thompson comes home. And now a stoppage as we got a meeting among the Liberty infielders. And, yes, 1 out. And Whitted is at the plate. Whitted batting .353 on the season, 5 runs, 3 RBIs, and a pair of doubles. So again, thank you for joining us. Mustang Field, the site right next to 414. That's a pinch hitter. And actually, this is a pinch hitter. Whitted is not at the plate. And it is.
That's right. This is Karina Ramos.
Ramos looks at ball 1, batting .200 on the season, 1 RBI and a pair of runs. So Wekiva coming in with a 5-4 record, certainly a much better season than we've seen in at least a dozen years, as she takes a cut and unable to catch up with the Ellerage offering, tailing away. So a 2-1 count now. Ellerage delivers, and this one is just a bit inside. 3-1 count now. Bottom of the second inning. And smacks that ball, and it rolls foul. So a full count now to Ramos, the pitch hitter. So, Mark, of course, we've been covering Wekiva High School athletics since the school opened 17 years ago. Do you remember the last time Wekiva was over 500, 10 games into the season?
Not in recent memory.
Okay, so it's not just me. Ooh, and either way, Ramos gets first base. That will go down officially as a hit batsman, but it would have been ball 4. And that takes the score to 11-0.
No. There was no force home there. First was empty after the
Oh,
previous.
excuse me, 10-0. The bases are now loaded.
Ramos walks to first, loading up the bases, and next to the plate for Wekiva, again a check into the lineup. This will be number 8, Jocelyn Mateo.
So Coach Griffin going into her bench here early. We are in the bottom of the second inning. Wekiva putting up a 7 spot in that first inning. 4 hits, 3 walks, and an error, producing those 7 runs. But they have continued to put runners on base and cross home plate, scoring 3 times here in the second. And actually, it's been the walk that's been deadly to Liberty. They've given up 3 walks, a single, and a hit batsman.
And also worth noting is that it is just starting to drizzle a bit here at Mustang Field. As I'm looking at the radar, it looks like we have some light rain headed our way. Let's hope it stays very light.
Yes, in the meantime, this is Mateo now, as you might have heard Mark saying. She comes in as that ball gets away from Rodriguez, but no advancement. Mateo with the .333 batting average. This is her 7th game she's appeared in. 3 runs and a pair of RBIs. Has a triple as well. So certainly, of course, Wekiva off to a very comfortable lead as soon as possible. As she looks at strike, and that will even the count. It'll take the count to 2-1. Cut the lead in the count in half. And that ball ripped right back to Ellerage. Nice job of knocking it down, getting the out first base. But Asanya does come in, so Chavez does her job. Advances the runner, ups the lead to 11-0.
Sanaya Asanya comes home, but the play is made at first to put 2 away for the Mustangs. Wekiva now returns to the top of the lineup card. But again, they will make a substitution into lineup. This time, it's number 12. That's Milan Brown.
So Brown steps in. Runners at second and third with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, and the 11-0 lead for Wekiva. Wekiva certainly flexing its offensive muscles. Of course, on the other side, the pitching of Thompson has been solid. A 1-2-3 inning in the first inning. Only 4 batters reaching base or coming up to the plate in the last inning. And again, in the meantime, the offense has taken advantage of the pitching and has that 11-0 lead as the count is now 0-1 on Brown. So 4th game for Brown. She's still looking for her first hit as the count now goes 1-1. Only 4 plate appearances for Brown, 2 official at-bats. She's gotten a couple of walks. Does have an RBI, though. Elaraj looks in, and she delivers low and inside. That'll up the count to 2-1. Again, Coach Griffin going to her bench early. Certainly a luxury with that 11-0 lead as the count now 2-2 on Brown. Brown pitch hitting for Delgado. Couldn't ask for a better leadoff performance. Delgado 2 for 2, a single, a triple, and 3 RBIs on that triple as the count now goes full. And certainly the runners with 2 outs will be running. Second and third. And the delivery, and that actually hit Brown. We've seen that a couple of times now where the batter gets hit on the 4th ball. So it doesn't really matter in terms of getting first base. It's just more of a record keeping. But that does load the bases with 2 outs. Wekiva the 11-0 lead in the bottom of the second from Mustang Field. And yet another pinch hitter
Checking
steps
into the lineup
plate.
now for the Mustangs is number 1, Nayla Studdard.
So Studdard, this is only her 5th game of the season. She's looking for her first hit of the season with only 5 plate appearances, 2 official at-bats, and she's actually scored a couple of runs and knocked in one as well. So now we got a stoppage as Coach Griffin and the umpire are discussing. I'm not sure what they're discussing.
Well, actually, they're waiting for the new pitcher to warm up here. So now in the pitcher circle for the Chargers, number 13, Lexi Figueroa.
Okay, and that was a bit of an odd change. Did not see the official sign. So Coach Colum going to his bullpen early, and again, Mark, please bear with us. Remember, Mark and I are a 2-man crew here. We don't have any spotters or anybody keeping stats, so we do our best, to keep up with what's going on. But I did not see Coach Colum actually come out and ask for the ball and do the official what you usually see. Or maybe I just didn't realize that he was doing that.
No, it was fairly subtle.
Okay. So again, Wekiva with the 11-0 lead, bottom of the second inning, with 2 outs and bases loaded, and Studdard stepping into the plate. Stufford stepping into the plate, looking at ball 1, the first offering.
That's called strike.
Strike 1. So Figueroa getting off to the good start. It'll be an even better start as they swing and the miss. Figueroa, a sophomore. This is her 4th game. It's her first game that she's pitched in. Elaraj pitching almost all the innings so far for Liberty. As the count now 1-2. Mental Health Awareness Day at Mustang Field. That's why they're wearing these special uniforms, green with white numbers, as Figueroa delivers. And that'll even the count at 2-2. Bases loaded for Wekiva. And a hit here would really put them in control of this game. They're already in control. And, well, don't need a hit. Third hit batsman of the inning, and that will be just as effective in terms of bringing in a run. And, of course,
all runners advance, and that will bring home Taquisha Thomas. Bases remain loaded. Let's see, do we have anybody else that hasn't been at the plate yet?
Stuffer does get credit for the RBI.
And now checking into the plate for the Mustangs, number 2. This is Corinthia Small.
So Small steps in. She's also looking for her first hit. Minimum opportunity, 6 games played, only 4th. This is only her 4th plate appearance. 2 official at bats. And ball 1 from Figueroa. So the bases do remain loaded, as do the outs with 2. Bottom of the second inning has been a very long inning. Wekiva sent, as that is a high pitch, and that will run the count to 2-0. Wekiva sent 10 batters to the plate in the first inning, and they have now sent 10 batters. This is the 11th batter here in the bottom of the second inning, and unable to drive that ball forward into fair territory, a 2-1 count. Now on Small. So, of course, if you're Wekiva, you can't ask for any better performance. That 12-0 lead in the bottom of the second. They're already midway through the batting lineup for a second time, and a 2-2 count. Now Figueroa replacing the starter Ella Raj. This is her second batter. And whoa, there's one high and up, and that's going to be an easy run on the wild pitch. That ball got away from Figueroa. You can see that ball as she released it. She lost control, and now a 13-0 lead for Wekiva. As the runs continue to cross home plate. So the count now full with 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the second, and that will be the second out of the inning. As
Figueroa records the strikeout
out.
looking, and that will take us to the end of the second inning. Neil, what do you have for hits for Wekiva?
1, 2, 3. Well, this inning they had one.
Total.
Oh, total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits.
Liberty has 1 hit, 1 error.
Yep. And so at the end of 2 innings from Mustang Field on Mental Awareness Day, Wekiva 13, Liberty 0. We'll be back for the top of the 3rd inning.
We want to remind you, if you're not already doing so, make sure you are following us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. We are at Wekiva Sports on all 4 of those services. You'll get live updates from many of our events, as well as news and information about our athletes and alumni. Please make sure you subscribe while you're there if you're watching us live on YouTube right now. We also invite you to join us as the Wekiva softball season continues on. We are about at the midpoint right now. Coming up next, the Mustangs actually have back-to-back home games. Unfortunately, we will not be broadcasting tomorrow's home game due to a conflict, but it will be here at Mustang Field. It is against the Freedom Patriots with a 6 o'clock first pitch. Then coming up on Friday, we have baseball and girls lacrosse at home, with girls lacrosse celebrating their senior night. Those of you here in the ballpark, we want to remind you that we are carrying tonight's game on YouTube and the NFHS network. It is being televised live and simulcast on both of those services. If you have friends and family back on the Kissimmee side of town, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world, make sure you send them a message. Let them know they can tune in. Search for Wekiva Sports on the YouTube app with your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device. Again, the channel name at Wekiva Sports. If you want to go directly there, it's youtube.com/@Wekiva Sports. If you are a member of the NFHS network, we also simulcast there. That is the official online partner of the FHSAA. That's NFHSnetwork.com or the NFHS network app on your favorite mobile device. That, of course, does carry a fee, but also has a lot more content from other schools around the state. The YouTube option is your choice, whether you pay for it or not. You can, if you're a subscriber to YouTube Premium, then you don't see ads. If you're not, then it's completely free, and you do see ads, but we promise we only run ads during the half-inning breaks and during timeouts, so you don't miss any of the game, even if you are not a paying subscriber. So we welcome you to join us either way on @Wekiva Sports on YouTube or the NFHS network. So, Neil, as we get ready for the third inning here at Mustang Field, the clouds continue to gather. And again, looking at the radar, so far we are cautiously optimistic and hopeful that the weather is going to hold up here. We're getting some sprinkles, a little bit of drizzling. So far, not enough that we need to go run and tear all of the equipment down. Hopefully, it will stay that way. I checked the radar. There's a bunch of light green stuff that is over us and coming our direction. So as long as it stays in that very light green area, then we will keep broadcasting and we will keep playing. But certainly a banner day for the Mustangs, one way or the other, whether this game goes to its natural conclusion or a weather-enforced one. Mental Health Awareness Day, of course, Strike Out Stigma event, all the teams wearing green and green lines painted on the field, and Wekiva turning in an all-star performance here with 13 runs scored, 7 in the first inning, 6 in the second. Of course, it takes 15 to cut the game off in the third inning, so that will not happen, but 10-run rule could potentially come into play if Liberty is not able to close the gap by the time we get to 5.
This is the top of the third inning as Thompson continues. As Mark said, a 13-0 lead. He just explained Wekiva as this is Ordonez at the plate. She will be followed by Candelaria and Rodriguez, the 8-9-1 hitter, so a 1-1 count now. But looking at Thompson's performance and Wekiva's defense, only 7 batters coming to the plate through the first 2 innings. So certainly it's been representative of the 0 as well as the 13 for Wekiva.
The Chargers are starting the third inning in the 8th position of their lineup with center fielder number 14, Sophie Ordonez.
And Thompson coming in with 14 walks, 25 strikeouts. And that will be her 3rd of the day as Ordonez takes strike 3.
Thompson records the strikeout, but 1 away for the Chargers. Next at the plate for Liberty, right fielder, number 28, Anel Candelaria.
So Candelaria will step to the plate. She's batting .308 for the season. 6 runs, 4 RBIs, and a pair of doubles. First pitch, slaps that ball down to third base. Herrera charges, scoops, and an accurate throw over to first. Asanya with the out.
Herrera to Asanya for the ground out at first. 2 away now for the Chargers. Next at the plate, Liberty returns to the top of their lineup with catcher number 5, Miley Rodriguez.
So 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 3rd inning. As Rodriguez, you just heard Mark steps in and looks at some high chin music. Ball 1. Rodriguez batting .588 entering today's game. 8 runs, 9 RBIs, a pair of doubles, and a triple for the catcher. As she now takes strike 1, 1-1 count. 0 for 1 today. Thompson continues. I would describe her performance as efficient. And
it's going skyward.
And
it
that's going to
drops.
get over Jones's head. Looked like she lost it here amongst the dark skies and the bright lights, and that'll wind up being a double for Rodriguez.
You're going to score that as a double?
Yeah, again, I know that might look like it was a catchable ball, but I think there was a lot of trouble with, again, the contrast. You're looking up into some dark skies, and at the same time, you got the bright lights. So you got that contrast, and that'll send Figueroa to the plate. 1 out, runner at second. She takes her hack at that first pitch. That goes right behind us onto the dugout and the baseball field. 0-1 count now. 2 outs, runner at second.
Lexi Figueroa now at the plate as Rodriguez is safe at second.
Figueroa batting .625 on the season as she hacks a second pitch. Thompson offering foul. And an 0-2 count now as Figueroa, who took over the pitching duties in the bottom of the 2nd inning. We are on top of the 3rd. She steps in, looks at ball, and credit the stolen base to Rodriguez. So first scoring opportunity for Liberty. Of course, it does come with 2 outs. We are in the top of the 3rd, a 13-0 lead for Wekiva on Mental Health Awareness Day. That's why Wekiva's wearing their green jerseys. As another ball will head into foul territory, and again over by the baseball field, about 20 feet separating the baseball and softball fields.
And if you're not familiar with the Wekiva coaching staff, of course the head coach, Asia Griffin, or now Asia McCoy, is also a math teacher. Meanwhile, this is going to put a run on the board.
Nice piece of hitting from Figueroa.
Figueroa with an RBI single right down the middle on the ground ball there, and that will bring home Rodriguez.
So Figueroa batting .625 entering this game. That'll certainly up her average. That's also her 6th RBI of the season. And Elaraj, the starting pitcher, now steps in. And first pitch hitting, she rips that one into the hole, gets by Jones. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Meanwhile, chugging around third base is Figueroa, and she will score without a throw. Ball just getting into the infield, and now a 13-2 score.
Triple put on the books for Elaraj, and that'll be an RBI as well. Put a 2nd run on the board for Liberty. Next at the plate will be 2nd baseman, number 19. This is Lizzie Geiger.
So Geiger 1 for 1 today. She had a single in her first and the 2nd inning. And now Thompson's starting to have some trouble. Liberty getting to Thompson. She was cruising along. 8 of the first 9 batters recorded an out. And now 3 straight hits, a double, a single, and a triple. Geiger also batting .333 for the season. Nine runs and an RBI and a double. As Thompson goes back to work. Of course, a 13-0 lead, which it was at one point before the 3 consecutive hits, does give Thompson a lot of room to make a couple of mistakes. And that will even the count at 1-1. So
That'll be 4 hits total on the night, right, Neil?
Yes, 4 hits now. Of course, despite this patch of rough going for Thompson, she has yet to give up a walk, as that'll run the count to 2-1. Or was that a strike?
Yes, it was. 1 and 2.
So a 1-2 count. So I saw the Liberty first base coach did not agree with that. Ball slapped down to third base, picked up by Herrera, and from her knees she throws but can't get enough on it, and Asanya unable to corral that ball. And so a fourth consecutive hit. I do believe that should be an infield single.
Okay, if you say so.
And that'll bring Bullard up to the plate, the shortstop.
Next to the plate, shortstop number 6, Cheyenne Bullard.
So runner at first base. That ball ripped down first base. Asanya one step
Line
to the
out
left.
to Sanaya Asanya, and that takes us to the middle of the third inning. 3 runs scored on 4 hits with 1 Mustang error, leaving 1 on base, and it cuts it to a 10-run ball game. 13-3 is your score at the end of 2.5 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break.
And back to live action. Bottom of the third inning about to start. Wekiva, the home team, on Mental Health Awareness Day, wearing their special green jerseys with the white numbers. A 13-3 lead over Liberty.
The Mustangs will begin the bottom of the third inning in the 4th position of their lineup with third baseman number 32, Kyla Herrera.
So Herrera steps in. She's actually 0 for 1 today, with a walk in the second inning. And Figueroa, who came in the last inning, second inning, continues, and the first pitch swinging. This is going to go all the way to the wall over the head of Adonias around second. And, well, Herrera was going to stop at second, and she'll take the extra base on the air. So a double followed by the throwing error.
Kyla Herrera is safe at second on the double and then reaches third. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, pitcher number 13, Jador Thompson.
And Thompson, as Mark just mentioned, looking for her first hit of the day, and there it is. She was 0 for 1, now 1 for 2. Over left field, and is actually be a double. Yes, she will stop at second And the same situation, a natural double. And then third base on the error. She does get the RBI in a 14-3 lead now for Wekiva.
And an instant replay. As Thompson liked what she saw from Herrera so much, she did exactly the same thing, a double with an extra base. This one's an RBI, though. It puts 14 runs up for Wekiva, and up next to the plate will be first baseman number 35, Sanya.
So Sanya, of course, this is only her fourth game as she was a member of the girls' basketball team. She rips that first offering foul. But certainly she's come in and contributed a 400 batting average entering this ball game with a pair of RBIs and a double. She is 2 for 2 today. Can't ask for a better day. A pair of singles, 2 RBIs, scored 2 runs. As she takes a hack at that pitch. Can't catch up to Figueroa's offering. So Wekiva score pretty much represents what we've seen today. Wekiva putting up a 7th spot in the first inning, 10 batters, and then 11 in the second inning, putting up another 6, and now, of course, putting up one more here in the bottom of the third.
And, of course, that's a smart move there. I mean, the pitch was high, but when you're behind 0-2, you got to swing at anything close. And that's actually probably the best thing that could have happened to Asanya there is foul that one away and live to see another pitch. That one's low. Asanya chops at it. It's dropped, so she has an opportunity, but an easy throw there. And Asanya's thrown out at first on the uncaught third strike, and, of course, record the strikeout for Figueroa. One away now for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva is number 34. That's Taquisha Thomas.
So, of course, if you did join us late, this is the beginning of a run of pinch hitters that Coach Griffin put in the last inning as that ball got away from Figueroa. That'll be ball one. See a run of 6 straight bad pitch hitters. So Thomas replacing Garcia. She takes a cut, unable to catch up. 1-1 count. Garcia walked in the first inning and did score again. Wekiva putting 7 up in that first inning. Garcia hit into a fielder's choice, did get credit for an RBI, and did eventually score as well. 1 of 6 runs in that second inning. We are now at 14-3 as the count will now go 1-2. And so doing some comparison, certainly not the way Liberty wanted this game to go, but if you looked at the averages, Wekiva actually was behind Liberty in runs scored 2.9 or 6, or actually, okay, excuse me, Wekiva was actually ahead as that'll take the count to 2-2. Wekiva a 9.4 to 6.4 advantage in average runs scored. 8.6 hits compared to 5.1, and it was actually the errors that I looked at. A little bit more by Liberty, 2.9 to 2.6. And that'll be strike 3. Are they going to get the out, though? Run already came in. Hit the back of Thomas, and she chugs into second. She's going to keep going. Does not come out of gear, and she'll wind up at third base. Again, the run came in on the wild pitch. It's now 15-3. And, boy, things couldn't go any worse for Liberty. A strikeout, but no out.
Yes, now, let's see. That's definitely a throwing error. The uncaught third strike failing to get the, I don't know if that's 1 or 2 errors on that play. It's at least 1.
So I do not believe that when you drop a third strike, it is counted officially as an error. But obviously.
But the failure to throw out at first. And then also the throwing error failing to get the runner out at second or third.
So that will be something that we have to look up. I know it might seem odd. First of all, thank you for joining us. I know it might seem odd to you, but Again, that's something that doesn't come up very often, at least not in my experience. Again, I played baseball for 23 years, so I wasn't keeping score when I played for all those years. And that'll be another hit batsman.
Karina Ramos advances to first. Runners at 1 and 3 now. Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 8, another substitution in the lineup. This is Mateo.
So Mateo comes in. She's 0 for 1 today. She replaced Chavez. She did get credit for an RBI, grounded out to the pitcher. This will be another ground out. The quick throw to second. Nice job by Bowler to backhand and the soft toss. They tried to get the second out there, I guess. And that results in...
See, did I score that right? 1 run, 1 error?
Yes. So...
And 1 out.
Yes. Again, I could not see that play over at first base. The catcher and umpire were standing.
Well, it went over to the dugout. So I think 1 run, 1 error, 1 out. Runner on second now, and the next at the plate with 2 away will be number 5, Delgado.
So give Mateo credit. She does for an RBI. That's her second RBI of the day. She's done a nice job coming in for Chavez, a couple of ground outs, but that was her job. Advanced the runner with the ground out, and 16-3 lead now as Delgado makes contact, and that'll be the third out of the inning. Odanis getting
Play
that
is
third
made
out.
at center field. Picked up by Sophie Adonis, and that takes us to the end of the third inning. 3 runs scored by the Mustangs on 2 hits, with 2 Charger errors, leaving 1 on base. 16-3 the score at the end of 3. Back with more from Mustang Field in a moment. And as we get ready to head into the 4th inning, Chargers will be up, trailing 16-3. As we enter the top of the 4th inning, Liberty begins in the 6th position of their lineup with third baseman number 20, Kaylin Mejia.
So Mejia steps in. She's 0 for 1 today, struck out in the second inning. And Thompson continues for Wekiva. Not a surprise. Of course, Thompson throwing the ball for about 90% of the innings so far for the 5-4 Wekiva Mustangs. We've talked about that a number of times as the count begins at 0-1.
Meanwhile, Neil, I looked up the answer to our question. If a batter reaches first base safely
on a drop third ball.
There it is, and we got Avery Schoen catches the fly at second. 1 away now for the Chargers, and next at the plate will be left fielder, number 2, Sam Larison. So anyway, as I was starting to say a moment ago, if the batter reaches first base safely on a drop, third, strike, or pass ball or wild pitch, it is scored as a strikeout for the pitcher and what is called a battery error, which is not counted as an error against the pitcher or catcher, but could be categorized as a team error for the purpose of earned runs. So you do not charge a personal error or put one in the scorebook in that sense. However, any run from a base runner that otherwise would have been earned is no longer considered an earned run after that.
So Larison 0 for 1 today. And she's now looking at a
I believe it's 2-1.
2-1 count.
However, there was a second error on that play.
There was no.
So yes, you don't charge the catcher with an error, but you do charge the first baseman with an error for the missed throw.
Yeah, on that particular play. And there was no question as to the second error. It was the
correct.
Just
a single officially charged error on the play, and it wouldn't have been an earned run anyway. Low and inside, and she'll take her base. Larison walks to first. Next at the plate for Liberty, number 14, the center fielder, Sophie Ordonez.
So Ordonez steps in. She's 0 for 1 today, struck out in the third inning. We are now in the fourth with a 16-4 lead for Wekiva. That ball's beat and foul. Our umpire immediately signaling for foul ball.
Yeah, that one is one where you have to imaginarily extend the first baseline all the way to the plate, and it did roll slightly to the right of that.
So that walk that Larison drew, that was actually the first that Thompson's issued as a half bunt, I guess you could call it. Nice job by Herrera scooping it up in the throw over to first, and a nice job over
Herrera
at first
to
base.
Asanya for the out at first on the grounder, and that puts 2 away for the Chargers. Next at the plate for Liberty, number 24. This is a substitution into the lineup. And this will be Mimi Figueroa.
So she replaces Candelaria. We are in the number 9 position. And the Liberty lineup. And a 1-1 count now. Two outs, 16-3 lead for Wekiva. Make that a 1-2 count as Figueroa unable to get that ball moving forward. Smacks the ball foul. So 1 strike for Thompson to get out of this inning. And Wekiva to get up with the bat, and there it is. A half-hearted swing by Figueroa.
Thompson records a strikeout, and that takes us to the middle of the 4th inning. Walk was the only action we saw there. Otherwise, 3 up and 3 down. No runs, scored on no hits with no Mustang errors, leaving 1 on base. The score 16-3 at the end of 3.5 innings. And we have reached the middle of the 4th inning, and so that means it's time for the 4th inning stretch. So stand up, stretch your legs, and join us now for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the Mustangs. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Back with more from Mustang Field after the break. As we enter the bottom of the fourth inning, the Mustangs will begin in the second position of their lineup with second baseman number 3, Avery Schoen.
So Schoen, 1 for 1 today. 1 for 1. She singled in the first, scored a run, and then walked and scored a run in the second. She did not bat the third time her position in the lineup came up. That was a pinch hitter. So again, if you joined us late, as we are now looking at a 1-0 count, with a big lead, Wekiva's led throughout. They scored 7 runs in the first inning, 6 in the second, and 3 in the third. This is their 4th time through the lineup. Count now 1-1. Coach Griffin decided to put some of her players, or I think it was all of her players who don't usually start. There was 6
every reserve.
consecutive.
Yeah, every reserve has been in the lineup once. Now, just as a reminder, with the exception of courtesy runners, which can replace the pitcher or catcher after they are already on base without counting as a substitution, once you re-enter a player who has been subbed out, that's it. You're done with messing with that position in the lineup for the rest of the game. You're free to move them around the field all you want. You just can't substitute the player anymore.
Yeah, you can move their position. As the count now 3-1. Schoen.
Well, you can move their position as a fielder, but not as a batter.
Right. I meant defensively. So Schoen did come into this game. Very impressive season so far. 500 batting average, 12 of 24, 13 runs, 11 RBIs, 3 doubles, and a triple. And she will take her base. And another leadoff hitter gets on for Wekiva. That's 4 straight innings out of 4 innings.
Schoen walks to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, shortstop, number 15, Camila Delgado.
And it's also the 5th walk on the season for Schoen. So Delgado, the shortstop, this is Camille. Of course, there are 2 Delgados as she swings and can't catch up to that low and inside pitch. That was out of the strike zone. Got over anxious. She is 0 for 2 today. Grounded out in the first inning, struck out in the second. And again, if you joined us late, as she beats that ball foul, that'll run the count to 0-2. With the large lead that Wekiva has had, Coach Griffin decided to go to her bench, give some of her players who don't see a lot of time some action, sent 6 consecutive pinch hitters up to the lineup. And as far as the position in the lineup, the offensive lineup, number 3, which is where we are now with Delgado, was the last of that run. So every pitcher battered now as that ball's lifted to the shortstop. Bowler calls everyone off. 1 out.
Play is made by Bullard at shortstop. 1 away now for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 32, the third baseman. This is Kyla Herrera.
And so to continue my thought, actually finish my thought, we're now in the part of the lineup where everybody has actually come up and batted 3 times, the individual batter. And there, we've seen that now. I believe that's 4 times with Figueroa. It just looks like as she gets ready to release that ball, she loses control of it, loses a grasp on it.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting that we've got a little moisture out here tonight, not enough to disrupt the game, but there has been a steady drizzle going on for the last 45 minutes or so. And so things are maybe not perfectly sticky out there like they would normally be.
Delivery from Figueroa, that ball ripped.
That's going
foul.
toward my car.
Yeah, my car too. All the Wekiva personnel park over there. So.
Yeah, not quite enough mustard on it to get to my windshield, but it went that direction.
Mustang Field is site, of course, right next to the 414. You can see the 414 right behind the scoreboard. As this ball's golfed right up to second base. And Geiger unable to control that ball, and that'll be an error. Bottom line is now 2 runners on for Wekiva.
Herrera safe at first, Schoen at second. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, number 13, the pitcher, Shador Thompson.
So, of course, as Mark just said, that's the other voice you heard. Mark Bartschy's also our public address announcer. here on the Wekiva campus. As nice job behind the plate by Rodriguez. That ball took a strange hop there right as it crossed home plate. But Mark, as our public address announcer, and as you just heard him say, Thompson is our pitcher. She's gone the distance. She's had a productive day at the plate out of that number 5 position. 3 plate appearances, 3 times she's gone on base. That'll be, nope. Could have been an out.
Yeah, that would. I mean, I won't falter for that. That would have been pretty extraordinary efforts to get that one at third. And for what it's worth, again, rules of baseball, which apply to softball as well, you cannot get an error charged against you for muffing a foul-out catch.
Thompson reaching base on an error by the shortstop in the first inning is the count now 2-2. She reached in the second with a walk, and then she slammed a double in her last at-bat in the third inning. It's a 2-1 count. She has scored all 3 times as well. So Thompson steps back in. It is a 2-2 count, and that'll run the count to 3-2 now. Figueroa trying to fool Thompson. Thompson having none of it on the ball that rolled on the ground. Figueroa gets her sign, delivers, and that ball finding the hole, poking it between shortstop and third base, and that will load the bases now with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Thompson picks up the hit, and that loads the bases. Next to the plate for Wekiva, first baseman, number 35, Sanaya Asanya.
And Asanya, who, as we've mentioned before, but if you joined us late, joining the softball team late as she's a member of the basketball team, which advanced all the way to the state semifinals this year, Class 6A. And she takes a muddy swing with no dice on that one. So Ansaya, this is only her 4th game. She's batting .400 entering this game. 2 of 5, but she is 2 for 2 today. Actually 2 for 3, a pair of singles and then a strikeout, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored as well. And she doesn't want anything on that pitch. Good eye.
Of course, a walk here automatically scores a run.
Yeah, no place to put Ansanya. Ansanya, only a sophomore, and as we mentioned, she's playing on 2 varsity teams now.
Yeah, and we see that a lot here at Wekiva. We see a lot of multi-sport athletes. We see a lot of basketball players play something in the spring, whether it's softball or flag football or lacrosse.
And she's going to smack that ball to second. And nice job by the second baseman Geiger, but Ansanya does her job, gets the run home.
Sanya's thrown out at first, but scores Avery Schoen. Next at the plate for the Mustangs with 2 away now is number 23, the right fielder. That's Ariana Garcia.
So Garcia comes in, and once again we are in that part of the lineup. If you joined us late, Coach Griffin went through 6 different positions in the offensive lineup where she had her players who don't get to see a lot of time come up to the plate. So Garcia, even though this is the 4th time that the number 7 position in the lineup has come up to the plate, Garcia only has 1 actually plate appearance, and she walks, so she does not have an at-bat. She did score a run too, and she is now looking at a 1-1 count. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. Wekiva up 17-3. They have controlled this game from the beginning. Thompson, your pitcher, 1-2-3 inning against Liberty, as that ball's beaten foul, and that'll take the count to 2-1. Wekiva then scored 7 in the bottom of the 1st inning, 6 in the bottom of the 2nd, and 3 in the bottom of the 3rd, and they put a run on the board here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 3 runs by Liberty came in their 3rd inning. 3-1 count now. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. So Garcia, as we mentioned, 0 for 0 today, drew a walk, and she's batting .211 on the season. ball ripped right back to Figueroa. Did a nice job of getting in the way, throws the first, and Wekiva only scores 1 run, but still lead now up to 14, 17-3 as we enter the top of the 5th.
Figueroa makes the play to first, and that takes us to the end.
1 hit, 1 run.
That takes us to the end of the 4th inning. 1 run scored on 1 hit. 17-3, the score now at the end of 4 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field after the break.
And Mustang Field, home of the Wekiva Mustangs, right next to the 414, the site of tonight's game. Thank you for joining us. We begin the top of the 5th inning. Wekiva has been in control, as the score clearly indicates, 17-3. And that is Miley Rodriguez at the plate.
The Chargers begin the 5th inning.
Scooped up by Delgado. Nice strong throw to Ansanya.
That is Miley Rodriguez at the very top of the card. First position to line up to start the 5th inning. And the throw is made from Delgado to Asanya for the 6-3 ground out to put 1 away. Next to the plate for Liberty, first baseman, number 13, Lexi Figueroa.
And their third batter, or as they like to say, using softball terminology, Elaraj in the hole as first pitch is swung at by Figueroa, who's now our pitcher. Elaraj started the game, got 1 1/3 innings in. Figueroa came in and replaced her as Figueroa unable to catch up on that offering from Thompson.
Meanwhile, Thompson so far headed toward a complete game. And the smack there goes to third. Still an opportunity to save it, and she does. Play is made on the throw from Herrera to Asanya for the 5-3 ground out, 2 away for the Chargers. Next at the plate is number 34, Yasmin Elaraj.
Elaraj, again, the starting pitcher, 1 for 2 today. She struck out in the first inning. Then hit a triple in the 3rd inning and got credit for an RBI. This one lifted, and it's going to be a long fly ball out of play. So an 0-1 count. So
I should point out that the Chargers must get at least 5 runs to avoid ending the game early.
So far, here in the top of the 5th. And that should bring you, I was going to say 2 up, 2 ground balls, 2 outs. And well, that is not going to end it. Not sure what happened out there with Garcia in right field. But it looked like she didn't make any effort, or I shouldn't say effort. I mean, I'm sure she's trying her best, but she did not run over towards the ball. So,
yeah, are you scoring that as a triple or as
that's an error?
Error, okay.
So.
E9.
So Elaraj keeps hope alive.
Elaraj safe at third. Next at the plate for Liberty, number 19. That's the second baseman, Lizzie Geiger.
And Geiger having the best day. No, clearly 2 of 2, but it's not going to go this way as Delgado drifts out.
Delgado makes the play at shortstop.
And that'll be the third out, and that will also bring the game to an end. Once again, your final score is 17-3 here on Mental Health Awareness Day. Wekiva, leaving no doubt, scoring 7 runs in the first inning, 6 runs in the second, 3 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. A dominating performance. They upped their record to 6-4. And so with that said, Mark, take us to the finish line.
That takes us to the end of the ball game. 17 runs scored on 8 hits with 6 Charger errors for the Mustangs. Liberty with 3 runs on 4 hits with 2 Mustang errors, and we have a W in the books for the Mustangs. We'd like to thank everyone for coming out to support your Mustang and Charger athletes. Special thanks to those of you who joined us online. Extra special thanks to Alea and her grandma Penny Crafton for the ceremonial first pitch. Thanks also to Julie Mooney for our national anthem and the JROTC for our presentation of colors, and everyone who helps to make our Strike Out Stigma game, celebrating mental health awareness, a success this evening. For those of you here in the ballpark, thanks for coming out tonight. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching online, thanks for tuning in, and we hope that you will subscribe before you go. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and X at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your score schedules and more. For Neil Fisher, this is Mark Barshy, the voice of the Mustangs, wishing you a good and dry evening as we get things packed up before the rain comes here. Until then, good night from Mustang Field.